Now Luke, recently you did an awesome video on a killer 20B street car, but there is just one gigantic flaw.
Doesn't have an LS in it?
It's pronounced Coopay. It's a French word and the accent is there for a reason. Saying coupe just sounds idiot bogan. RX-4 Coupe, mate.
RX-4 Coupe, champ. I'll just go and get my Coopay.
Coopay.
Yes.
Good day.
Oh no. Is that guy trolling or is it real?
Legit.
Legit. So that requires a bench talk seal of approval.
Now it seems once again, what a shock, you've triggered some BARRA owners. Bagging a BARRA for sound, neck minute, talking about putting an LS in something worst sounding engine ever. Not a fan of the LS.
So he's bagging the LS, not the BARRA. Isn't this the Australia Day weekend? So we just need to queue up just a montage of LS on the limiter. And there's nothing more Australian, Jordo, than an American engine on the limiter.
True blue LS limiter.
I put the old Aussie BARRA icon on the limiter, but
no one wants to hear that.
I'll just go turn my washing machine on spin cycle for 3 hours.
We uploaded a video of a Yaris running a mid 12-second quarter.
Jordo, is that Yaris a Coopay? No.
What's worse than driving a Yaris? Your mates finding out you drive a Yaris.
He's got you there,
But
Jordo.
Someone's daughter is going to drive this thing to hairdresser school, so I'm not interested. This is just the quality of comments coming back.
I don't want to sound mean, but there's not going to be too many young people driving a Yaris because it's got 3 pedals. What was that hashtag I saw recently, Jordo? Hashtag, was it teach kids how to change gears, not genders? Ooh, I think we just got demonetized.
With a launch like that, make sure your handbag is secured. I hereby name this car the Wuss Wagon. That'll pop within a year, sounds good though. Because, you know, Toyota engines are known to be unreliable junkers, aren't they? That sewing machine couldn't turn a tyre. That comment's not bad. I don't know why I'd be turning tyres, it's all-wheel drive anyway. Apparently this bloke, he's not happy either because we referred to the car, and in general, it's a homologated special, right, this rally car.
How do you say that?
Homologation. But it looks absolutely nothing like a Toyota Yaris WRC. Now this guy apparently thinks the car should have like a 1 meter spoiler on the back, sequential gearbox. Actually, let me just go through the list of things that Toyota's missing from the road car. This little Toyota looks absolutely nothing like the WRC. Let me indicate. It's missing something about sharply tapered front doors and quarter vents, yada yada. It's missing this massive wing. It has no central air vent on the roof. Why would it have a central air vent on the roof as a road car? So if you think you have a special homologation WRC Rally Toyota Yaris, well, you haven't.
This guy's got you. You better get the chainsaw and cut a hole in the roof.
It should also have the stage timer and everything bolted to the dashboard on the passenger side. What else is it missing?
All of these Yaris comments have to be from the UK, yeah?
This is what I don't get. People comparing new cars to old cars. And it actually never makes any sense. This is the same power as a 1994 GT4 remap to 300 bhp for 400 pound and still have 10 pound thousands to spare. It's like no progression has been made. Now if you're wondering what a GT4 is, he's talking about an old Celica or Celica. You could compare buying a mint GT4 for 10,000 pounds and spending the 23,500 pound difference on the GT4, which would probably get you 500 bhp forged engine, teen coilovers, yada yada, carbon fibre tyres. Not saying there's an exact match, but if you want a 4x4 Toyota Rally Turbo with room for luggage and passengers, well, you've now got to compare a 25-year-old car, then you're going to modify it. Then why would you even buy a new car ever? Why wouldn't you just buy an old car and just slam 23,500 pounds of mods to it? The funny thing is, the next day, after he wrote this, a video just happened to come out. The same car he's talking about, a GT4, it smashed it around the track by like 7 seconds as expected. What else would you expect? Technology's come a long way. I don't know why either. If you had an old Celica GT4, why would you be like, it's almost like you're critical that Toyota's just made another rally car. Is it taking the limelight off your beloved Celica? Seriously.
But those comparisons, a lot of the time they'll go and get some guy's car out of cotton wool and cane it around the track, and it's on like crappy old, who knows what tyres. You've at least got to put the same tyres on it, because you know tyres you can make up 3 seconds a lap in.
And on top of that too, fair enough, they'll do like one lap in the car and then be thinking, we don't want to murder this thing, it's some dude's car, it'll probably fall to pieces. And the other car's brand new, you can just kill it all day.
But, no, that's fair enough. But why would you think that a car that's 25 years old is going to outperform a car of today? Like the 90s cars are fantastic, but if you drive standard ones, a lot of them, like by today's standards, they're not that quick.
The Yaris love continues though. Amazing videos, but my God, that is the saddest performance car. Even worse than a Suzuki Swift GTI, which nobody would touch even when all cars were small. This thing is a disgrace. Where the hell are we going with our car culture? Nobody would even touch. Are you serious? You know how many people in Australia did ups that we certainly didn't have one, but how many people did up little Suzuki Swift GTIs? Those Swifts are actually quite popular in the day. How many magazines were they in? Heaps of people turbocharging them, not even turbocharging them, but
you know, one good thing about them, Jordo, by today's standards, they've dated pretty well. They're not a bad looking little car.
But there's only one Swift back in the day that was the king. But Luke, I found one fan and one fan of the Toyota Yaris through all the hate mail. Quite simply put, nothing, and I mean virtually nothing except a Tesla or Bugatti Veyron can touch the Toyota Yaris GR with launch control to 58 to 60 kilometers an hour. So he's got this pretty specific down pat, this.
Not 57.
Off the mark as proven by Top Gear. This car will out-accelerate a Lambo, Ferrari 488, McLaren 570S, Audi TTRS, and even a Honda NSX to 60 Ks. Legal limit on most Australian roads for some fun and worth every cent. So you better watch out there when you're having a drag to 60 Ks an hour, because what's this going to be, about a 3-second drag? What the hell is he on about?
It's like first gear drag racing.
Yeah, obviously he hasn't been lined up against a well set up converter with an LS, has he?
And he clearly hasn't taken on a 2K BARRA with a moon tune in it, because gone.
A car that the internet keeps telling us to buy with the best engine on earth, a Ford XR6 Turbo.
Now speaking of BARRAs, how's Motive Video's BA?
Too heavy, too big, handles like crap, it's slow, it doesn't brake very well, it's ugly, it's the world's worst colour, and has the world's worst seating position made by the fact that now it's even worse because the seat is stuck higher than where it is and won't come down. It has a lot of things I don't like about it.
What he just said there, to be perfectly honest, that's the main reason I haven't bought one. Like it is a very good engine, lots of potential, but I don't really want a BARRA in a Falcon.
Say that again.
So that's why we put one in an equally barge boat VS Commodore.
Now you're going to get hate mail from both sides.
Oh yeah.
Now do you reckon there's a reason he painted, Andrew painted that Falcon hot pink? Do you reckon that was just the trolling's gone next level with that one?
Now, Andrew has given me a little bit of inside baseball on how this thing's going to end up, and it's pretty cool. So, for the guys who've seen the first few episodes, keep watching. You might be impressed.
Now, this one came across my desk, I should say, Luke, recently. It wasn't, I think this happened a few months ago, but a container ship It lost nearly 2,000 containers in some Pacific Ocean storm. It was travelling from China to Long Beach when it hit violent storm, yada yada.
Where else are travelling from?
China.
And people were saying how many Jap cars ended up in the ocean. That's a shame because people are importing them, right? I don't know why they're coming through China.
China.
Imagine how many SUVs and crossovers hit the water.
The only saving grace is imagine how many R33 Skylines made it back to shore. That's the impressive part of this. Now I saw a bit of back and forth online about this one. The Corvette. Now this was announced last month as well, I think. It's coming down here and it's been priced from 150k plus on roads. Nearly as expensive as a Yaris. This will be sold under GMSV, formerly known as HSV, because GMSV just rolls off the tongue, but I guess what else are they going to call it?
Why don't they just call it Chevy? Chevy. What's wrong with Chevrolet?
This is the only right-hand drive car to be exported. Yeah, it actually says here that the higher performance models will be from 200.
Yeah, and they'll sell them easy.
Oh, people will say, oh, look how expensive they are. They could bring out 150k HSV back in the day and they'd sell.
Yeah, they'll sell no problem.
They're also looking to re-import the Camaros. But
Really?
last time they were like 30 grand more than Mustangs. No wonder they didn't sell. Because the issue with those was here, they had to obviously convert them to right-hand drive.
I thought the Camaro was dead because it's not even... Have you seen how bad it sells in America?
Really?
Oh, yeah, the Mustang and the Dodge, from memory, the Mustang and the Dodge Challenger outsells the Camaro like 2 to 1. Their sales like the last 5 years or something has just like plummeted.
Corvettes over there are far more expensive cars, so they're not really competing against a Camaro, are they? I mean, they're a different type of car.
Yeah, very different. Especially the new one.
Especially now what they've done with the Corvette now. But
Speaking of Corvettes, have you seen that Mustang Mach-E, whatever they call it? Like it's supposed to be, it's electric and it's like an SUV and it sort of has some Mustang cues. Yeah, so a report came out, I think it was today or yesterday, that because Chevy, you know, they want to go all electric, or GM want to go all electric, obviously. So that they're saying they want to make a whole series of cars basically using that Corvette styling as like their global platform. Electric, it's like an electric crossover. You know what it actually reminded me of? The pictures kind of reminded me of the Lamborghini, what do they call it? The uterus?
oh, they're Soccer Mum Lambo, whatever it is.
Yeah. Tesla had their highest sales ever in Australia in 2020. They sold, I think, about 3,430. And I think from memory, 2019 they sold 2,100. And I have noticed in the last 6 months, there's a lot more Teslas on the road.
Yeah, I'm seeing a few more Model 3s more so.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the majority of them are Model 3s, yeah.
I did see a report that they are, obviously the no-brainer one is they're trying to build something that would cost, I think at the moment they said equivalent would be 40 to 50, so it's getting into the next price bracket down.
Mm.
I don't know what a Model 3 is, but it's still not a cheap car, is it? As in, like it's...
Well, I could be wrong, but I thought the entry level, realistically, in your driveway price was like 75 entry level.
Yeah, if they can crack the market and get it more down to a 40 grand car, that kind of price, you'll start seeing heaps more of them on the road.
It sounds a little bit expensive, but it's not as expensive as the $1 million Holden Ute. Have you seen that?
Did you say $1 million?
Yeah, well, at the time we filmed this, I think it was $1,030,000 grand, just over 1 million, for a VF Ute, essentially. It's about a 3-year-old Ute, 2 or 3 years old.
I saw people losing it because the price is so high and it's still got, I think it's still got at the time of filming almost 2 weeks to go or something, is that right?
2 weeks. Yeah, so it's a GTSR, it's a W1 basically, so it's got the LS9 dry sump engine, and you couldn't really buy them. They only made 4 of them.
And they were special orders, weren't they? They weren't actually advertised as it. They
weren't really advertised.
People didn't even know they existed until after Holden pretty much shut, did they?
I think they were made for existing, you know, customers asked for them and they made them. But yeah, there's only 4. I think a couple of years ago someone paid $1 million, a bit over $1 million for an XY Falcon. But you think that car's like 50 odd years old. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is $1 million for a car it's not even 5 years old.
I think the appeal they're trying to say is it's like the rarest
Holden.
Oh,
ever
of
made
course, of course. I get
yeah.
why it's buying. And everyone, you know, so many people get cut up about it, but at the end of the day, it's like, if someone's got the money to and wants to buy it, good on them. I don't know why people are so toxic when it comes to what someone else is selling their car for, or wants to pay for it. I mean, obviously this COVID thing, I think there is a bit of inflation going on. I've been looking for I'm after a new project car on something in the 90s, a 90s project car, Japanese car. And I have noticed the price of a lot of cars are double what they were 3 years ago. But, you know, at the end of the day, what do you do? Especially a 90s car, they're drying up. You know, you see less and less of them on the road. They end up going to the wreckers or the bloody garage cranes or whatever happens to them. But if you want it, you got to pay for it. People are hanging on to them. They're the cars they grew up with. So, but anyway, it'd be interesting to see what that ute goes for. At the end of the day, it's $1 million, and I mean, a stock BARRA would just smash it. Do you reckon there's going to be some hate mail now, or what?